Hello, this webinar is titled The Ancient Writings, Blessings and Sufferings, and it's a part of the Cycle of Freedom series. Montesquieu said this: to comprehend modern times well, it's necessary to comprehend ancient times as well. But as we do so, we'll start with remarks from George Washington. He said, "No people can be bound to acknowledge and adore the invisible hand which conducts the affairs of men more than the people of the United States. Every step by which they have advanced to the character of an independent nation seems to have been distinguished by some token of providential agency." Sam Adams agreed and said, "There are instances of an almost astonishing providence in our favor. Our success has staggered our enemies and almost given faith to infidels, so that we may truly say it's not our own arm which has saved us. The hand of heaven appears to have led us on to be humble instruments and means in the great providential dispensation which is completing itself." And so he's talking about life on the left side of the cycle of freedom and the hard spiritual work and courage and strength and liberty it takes to live on the left-hand side of this cycle. The way of liberty takes tremendous effort and resources and faith in God. Sam Adams also said, though, about the right side of the cycle of decline. Communities are dealt with in this world by the wise and just ruler of the universe. He rewards or punishes them according to their general character. So a virtuous and faith-filled country lives on the left-hand side of the cycle, but a depraved and vice-filled country lives on the right-hand side of the cycle. Well, what Sam Adams observed here, the prophet Moses observed almost 4,000 years ago to the people of Israel. And because of Israel's unique relationship with God, these are very faith-centered. And yet there's a generic principle that all people could consider as they consider the state and health of their culture and where they are in the cycle of freedom. Let's listen to Moses' words. He talks about national blessings and national sufferings. "If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands I give you today, all these blessings will come upon you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. The Lord your God will set you high above all the nations on earth. The blessings will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country, blessed as you come and as you go. Your children will be blessed. Your lands, barns, crops, and livestock and your food will be blessed. Your work and your creativity and everything you put your hand to, your prosperity, your finances, and your national security. You will lend to many nations but will borrow from none. Your enemies will be defeated before you, and peoples on the earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they will fear you. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. The Lord will establish you as his holy people, as he promised you on oath, if you keep the commands of the Lord your God and walk in his ways." The citizens of the United States in its early beginnings and the founding fathers were trying to follow God in this way. They were after the national blessings that come from doing that. But there's also national sufferings that Moses describes here, and it describes like this: "However, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I'm giving you today, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. You'll experience failure in the city and in the country, as you come and as you go. This will affect your children, your land, your barns, your crops, your livestock, and your food. Your work, your creativity, everything you put your hand to will be more challenging and difficult. Your prosperity, your finances, your national security. There'll be confusion, anxious minds, and eyes will be weary with longing and a despairing heart." Boy, does that describe many cultures around the world, and probably the culture of the United States. "The alien who lives among you will rise above you higher and higher, but you will sink lower and lower. He will lend to you, but you will not lend to him. He will be the head, but you will be the tail. Sudden ruin because of all the evil you've done in forsaking him can come upon you, and you will become a thing of horror and an object of scorn and ridicule to all nations. These failures will be a sign and a wonder to you and your descendants forever, and it will be because you did not serve the Lord your God joyfully and gladly in the time of prosperity." Now these ancient writings should give us something to pause and ponder as we consider the golden triangle of freedom of being virtue and faith and freedom. How much does our culture encourage faith and people to pursue faith, and how much does it attack it in this day and age? These describe well these sufferings, the right-hand side of the cycle of freedom, and what cultures feel like when they're living on this right-hand side. And unfortunately, as this right-hand side accelerates, it always leads to the same result: weakness and bondage. Indeed, something to ponder and think about. This is U.S. Civics Training. Thanks for listening.